Good morning students, welcome to the online teaching session of Academic World School by Mitra. Today I am here to discuss with you the next chapter of Indian economic development, new economic policy, the policy of liberalization, privatization and globalization and appraisal. This is also known as Economic Reforms 1991. Before starting this chapter, I think that you have watched all the videos of chapter number 2 that is already uploaded on YouTube, as well as that was sent through ERP. But today, first of all, I will just revise the chapter number 2 in a very nutshell manner. The second chapter was Indian economy 1950 to 1990. Before that, you studied that during the British colonial government, Indian economy was stagnant as well as backward. When India got their independence in 1947, so the first of all, India adopted mixed economy system. As you know, economic system is a kind of system that is associated with the production, distribution, exchange of goods and services, allocation of resources in a society. Or in another sense, you can say that economic system is a system which helps to solve the problems of central problems of an economy. What are the central problems? What to produce, how to produce and for whom to produce. And on the basis of these three problems, we can categorize the economic system mainly in the three categories: capitalist economy, socialist economy, mixed economy. As India has adopted the mixed economy or mixed economic system. Capitalist economy is free economy where there is no control of government, that is, there is a free play of market forces, whereas in the socialist economy, all the means of productions are under the control of government. That's reason that is also known as socialist economy or controlled economy. For example, capitalist economy USA, Britain. For socialist economy USSR, means nowadays it is known as Russia. Earlier that was USSR. And India adopted the mixed economy, in which India adopted the advantages of the capitalist economy along with the policies of the socialist economy, under which the needs of the people are fulfilled by government and the demands of the individuals are fulfilled by the private companies. In this mixed economic system, one commission was set up that is known as Planning Commission, that was set up in 1950. The main work of the Planning Commission is to draw and execute economic policies to develop the economy. This is the main objective of this Planning Commission. Prime Minister is the chairman of this Planning Commission, and at that time Professor Mahalanobis played a vital role to plan for the Indian economy. That's reason he is also regarded as the architect of Indian planning. India adopted the mixed economic system, but the system is mostly influenced from the socialist economy. That's reason mixed economy of India was based on the socialist pattern of society, where most of the means of productions are under the control of government. There were four objectives of this mixed economic system of India. These were growth, modernization, self-reliance and equity. These are the main four objectives of the planning of India. Growth, it is associated with the increase the capacity of the production of goods. Modernization, it is associated with the modern approach towards life, how it is possible to adopt the new technology, as well as to break the outlook of the society. Self-reliance, to be self-sufficient in the production of food grains, to remove or to reduce the dependency over the foreign countries. And equity is associated with the equality, to reduce the inequality of the distribution of income and wealth, as well as to provide equal opportunities to male as well as female, to all the caste creed people, or it is also, we can say in the single sense, social justice. So these were the four objectives. To achieve this four prospective plan, India has adopted the 5 years plan, that was they have taken from the Soviet Union or USSR. After that, you check that to improve the condition of agricultural sector, how the zamindari system was abolished, land ceiling system was adopted. Zamindari system was abolished in 1953 and land ceiling system was adopted by government. Under that, land consolidation to provide subsidies to the poor farmers, then to use the modern means of irrigation. These things were applied and introduced at that time to improve the condition of agriculture. After that, you studied that to improve the condition of industrial sector, government has adopted the IPR 1948, but due to the political disturbance and economic disturbance, again India has to adopted the second industrial policy resolution IPR 1956, under which government has divided the industries into three broad categories: Schedule A, Schedule B, Schedule C. Under Schedule A there were 17 industries. These were totally public owned or government owned industries. There was the full control of the government. Second one is the public private owned, where the industries were set up by the public sector and few kind of help is taken from the private sector. And the third, Schedule C, that was the private ownership, that was given by government through the government licensing. After the IPR 1956, government has also promoted the small scale industries. Small scale industries means we can divide it on the basis of the investment. At the time of independence during 1950s, maximum investment up to 5 lakh in the assets known as the small scale industries. Nowadays it is around 1 crore. So at that time government promoted the small scale industries. For that they set up CAR committee in 1955. This was mainly to generate employment as well as to reduce the regional disparity. Under the foreign trade policy, government has adopted inward looking strategy. Under the inward looking strategy, the main aim was to substitute the import or import substitution. For that, government has introduced two tools, tariff and quota. Tariff means the tax levied on the imported goods, and quota means that fix the maximum quantity of the imported goods. The main aim was to be self-reliant as to increase the prices of imported goods. By that their use will be neglected by the people, and to promote or to reduce the competition from the foreign goods and to protect the local goods. So these things were adopted at that time. Under the 1956 IPR, government has set up a number of public sector industries and they played a vital role in the development of Indian economy. But till 1990, what were the conditions created? Due to that, government has to change their economic policies or to reform their economic policies. That we will discuss here in the third chapter. So let's start the third chapter, new economic policy, LPG policy. First of all, we will understand the meaning of economic reforms. What is the meaning of economic reforms? So it refers to a set of economic policies directed to accelerate the pace of growth and development of the economy. What is the meaning of economic reforms? Reforms means that re-regulation. In the simple manner, reforms means that re-regulation. So it refers to set of economic policies directed to accelerate the pace of growth and development of the economy. This is the meaning of economic reforms. There were various regions. Due to that, government has to reform their economic policies in 1991. But what were those regions? Actually, the condition of economy of India during 1991 was very miserable. Let us discuss about the regions behind the economic reforms of India. So let's start. I'm just erasing it. So our next topic is regions for economic reforms. What were the main regions for economic reforms? So if we will talk about, the first one is that poor performance of public sector undertakings. The second one, fall of foreign exchange reserves. The third one, is that inefficient management. The fourth one is that high fiscal deficit. The fifth one is that deficit in balance of payment. Next region, Gulf crisis, and the last one is that inflationary pressure. So these are the main reasons behind the adoption of new economic policy. The first one is that poor performance of public sector undertakings. After independence, government adopted the mixed economy and most of the industries were under the control of government. In the 40 years from 1950 to 1990, the work that was given to public sector undertakings to develop the economy of India, that was taken place, but there were various reasons due to that their performance becomes not appropriate as desired, because the techniques that was adopted by public sector undertaking, that was not reformed at that time, and due to that the performance of most of the policies were not appropriate, and this was the one of the reason behind the adoption of economic reforms. Because in these public sector undertakings, the revenue collection is lesser than the expenditure. That's reason, this was first reason behind the adoption of the economic reforms, and due to that the fiscal of government started declining. The second one, fall of foreign exchange reserves. First of all, the meaning of foreign exchange. Foreign exchange means that foreign currency. So the foreign exchange reserve of India was started declining. First of all, what is the use of the foreign exchange? In a very simple sense, all the economies in the world are not independent, they are interdependent. They are buying and selling goods and services from one country to another country, and for that they need to pay them in the international currency. That's the reason there is a importance of foreign exchange reserve for any economy. So at that time, the condition of foreign exchange reserve of India was too poor that we can mention India had only the reserve to pay the import goods for more than 2 weeks, as well as India did not have the foreign exchange reserve to pay the interest to the international lenders. That was the condition, that was the miserable condition of India at that time. Second one, third one, insufficient management. The management of economy was also inefficient at that time, because government was not properly collected the revenue from the taxes and other things. Second one, whatever the revenue was collected by the government, that was spent on the consumption of the goods. And the third one is that expenditure of government was higher than collection of revenue of the government, and it was so that it was insufficient to reduce the gap between the expenditure of government and revenue collection of the government. Next one is that high fiscal deficit. India was not able to fulfill the demands of the people, because most of the people in our country, they were poor at the time. Now also they are poor, but at that time poverty was the main reason. Most of the people were jobless, and due to that the expenditure of government was higher than their revenue, the main same region, and for that government had to borrow money from public banks and the international organizations, and that also one of the reason behind the adoption of new economic policy. Deficit in balance of payment. Balance, first of all, balance of payment, this is one of the chapter in macroeconomics. There we will study it in detail. This foreign exchange is also one of the chapter that we will study in detail later. So right now balance of payment is the simply it is payment and receipts. Payment means that payment on the imported goods and services, and receipts on from the export of goods and services. So due to the economic policies of India from 1950 to 1990, under that they had adopted the import substitution policy. Still import in India was higher than export of goods from India to other countries. Why? Because Indian goods were not very good quality goods, as well as the price of Indian goods were higher than other goods. That's reason the balance of payment of India was not favorable, that was unfavorable at that time, and there was the deficit in the balance of payment, and due to that the foreign exchange reserve of India started falling to maintain the balance of payment of India. This was the another reason. Gulf crisis, that was the immediate region. During 1990s, the Gulf countries means the Middle East Asian countries like Saudi Arabia, Syria, UAE and other Arab countries. So a war was started, Iraq, Iran, a war was started at that time, and due to the war, the price of crude oil in the international market is suddenly raised, because these Gulf countries are the mainly petroleum producing countries of the world, and that's reason India that is totally depend upon the foreign countries for the petroleum, that 85% of India import is petroleum, so that raised the price, also affected the Indian economy, and that is one of the factor behind the adoption of the new economic policy. Inflationary pressure, due to all the money supply increases in the economy of India, and due to the high money supply, the prices of the goods raised, demand of people's demand for the goods raised, and that was another, that inflation simply means that when the raise of the general price level of the final goods and services known as the inflation, and at that time due to the excess money supply, demand raised by the people, and that also resulted the inflation. So at that time in India, inflation was very high, inflation rate was very high, and due to all these reasons, India had to ultimately adopted the new economic policy. For that, I am just erasing it. Ultimately, the way India adopted to borrow money from the international organization, and for that India reached to IBRD, International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. This is the full form of IBRD. This is popularly known as World Bank also. IBRD is also known as World Bank, and IMF means international monetary funds. International monetary funds. Due to these conditions of India had to borrow money from the international organization, and for that India approached to these international organizations, World Bank, that is also known as IBRD, International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, and IMF, International Monetary Funds, and they borrowed money from these the $7 billion. How much? $7 billion. And for availing these loans, these international banks or organizations, they also expected India to liberalize and open up the economy. As we know that for any kind of loan there must be some kind of conditions. So these international organizations, they also expected that India will do something for that, and they wanted to liberalize the Indian market as well as economy. And what were these points? The first expectation was removing restrictions on the private sector. Second one, reducing role of government. First one is that removing restrictions from the private sector. Second one, reducing role of government. And third one, removing trade barriers. So these were the main three expectations of this international organization, World Bank and IBRD, and the IMF, International Monetary Fund, from India. India agreed for these expectations of the international organization, and finally in July 1991, India adopted new economic policy. The main aim of this new economic policy was to develop a competitive environment for industries for growth and for expansion of industries in India. So that was the main aim of the economy. Under that, government agreed to remove restrictions from the private sector, reducing the role of the government of decision making, and removing the trade barrier. Ultimately, it will help for the industries as well as trade to remove the trade barrier. These were the main aim of the new economic policy, and there were two persons who were the taken most important role. They played most important role to adopt the new economic policy. The contemporary Prime Minister of India, P.V. Narasimha Rao, and the Finance Minister of India, Dr. Manmohan Singh. He was the Finance Minister at that time, and they played the main role to pull out the Indian economy from the crisis of 90s, and for that they adopted the two measures under the new economic policy. What are these two measures? Measures adopted under new economic policy. So mainly we can classify the measures of new economic policy into major classification. The first one is that stabilization measures, and second one structural measures. So India has adopted two measures under the new economic policy. One is the stabilization measure and the second one is the structural measure. Stabilization measure is also known as short term measure, and structural measures are also known as long term measures. So under the stabilization measure, government has adopted two policies. The first one, remove the weaknesses of balance of payment by maintaining sufficient foreign exchange reserves. Second one, under this, to control general price level of different goods and using the foreign exchange services in the economy. Using the foreign exchange were the two main policies adopted under the stabilization measure, and second one is the structural measure, that is known as the long term measure. Under that, the first one improving the efficiency of the economy. What is the meaning of efficiency of economy? Simply, efficiency means that proper utilization of resources. So, under this policy, government decided that now they will utilize their resources in a very efficient manner. The second one, increasing international competitiveness, increasing the foreign exchange, increasing the foreign exchange, increasing the foreign exchange, the rigidities in various segments of the Indian economy. So these are the two main measures adopted. Using the foreign exchange, the first one is that stabilization measures, that is also known as short-term measures. Under the stabilization measures, government adopted two policies. That was the using the foreign exchange, remove the weaknesses of the balance of payment. And how it can be removed? When the foreign exchange reserve of using the foreign exchange to control the inflation, to control the prices of all the goods and services. Using the foreign exchange, structural measures, that is also known as long-term measures. Under that, using the foreign exchange, decided that now they will utilize the resources of the economy in the efficient manner. And second one, to increase the international competitiveness by removing the rigidities in the various segments. Simply, now they wanted to attract the foreign investors in India. That will also create job and that will also helpful for the growth of the economy. And under this new economic policy, I'm just erasing it. There were mainly three policies, that is known as using the foreign exchange policies of NEP 1991, New Economic Policy 1991. The first one is that liberalization, second one is that privatization, third one is that globalization. So liberalization, the L in place of using the foreign exchange, liberalization L in place of licensing. Just remember the chapter number 2, industrial licensing. So in place of industrial licensing, government now they use the liberalization. This was on the industries. Licensing, that was on industries. Second one, privatization P in place of quota Q. Quota was on the import, export and import. And third one, globalization, G, in place of permit, P, permit was on the trading of goods and services. So, under the new economic policy, government adopted LPG in place of LQP. When after 1950, India adopted this policy, industrial licensing, because most of the industries were public owned and private ownership, they have to take the license from the government to set up their industry. Quota was one of the tool that was the policy adopted by government to substitute the import. That was one of the part of inward looking strategy of India, of Indian government. And permit, government also give permit of trading of export and import. So these three rigidities were now removed and these main policies were adopted under the new economic policy, LPG, liberalization, privatization and globalization. So in very simple sense we can say LPG in place of LQP adopted in 1991. Clear? Now, what is the meaning of the liberalization? So, liberalization means that it refers to removal of entry and growth restrictions using the foreign exchange on the private sector. Using the foreign exchange. What is the meaning of liberalization? Liberalization word is derived from liber, Latin word, which means that freedom. So simply is that to give freedom to the industries of India. Second one, privatization. So it refers to transfer of ownership and management from public sector to private sector. Privatization means that earlier all the industries were mainly operated by government. Now under the new economic policy, government has removed this policy and now they have opened their doors for the private investors, private industries. By that they can set up their industries in India. And last one is that globalization. It refers to integrating using the foreign exchange national economy with global economy. Globalization means that integration of the local economy means Indian economy with the global economy. Simple meaning is that after 1950 government has adopted the concept of closed economy, and after new economic policy 1991 government opened their door, and now India became the open economy for all. So let's recapitulate. We have started our chapter under which we first of all we discuss about the main policies adopted after 1950 under the agricultural sector, industries and the trade. India adopted the mixed economic system, and that was the mix of advantages of the capitalist economy and the policies of the socialist economy, but main influence of Indian economy was from the socialist economy, means that Indian economy was based on the socialist pattern of society. Under the mixed economy there were four main goals of the Indian planners. These were the growth, modernization, self-reliance, using the foreign exchange, up in 1950, and they adopted these goals. After that, they planning commission, they tried to remove the obstacles of the development of agricultural sector. They removed the zamindari system. They adopted the green revolution. They started to give incentive to the farmers through the land selling system, using the foreign exchange to provide subsidies to the poor farmers. Under the industrial sector, government has adopted IPR 1956. This is the second IPR after the failure of the first IPR 1948. Under that, government has scheduled industries into mainly three schedules. Schedule A, that was public owned, there were 17 industries. Second one, the Schedule B, where the government set up the industries and few helps were taken from the private individuals. That was the simply public-private partnership. And the third one is that Schedule C, under which government gave license to the private companies to set up their industries. That also gave the variety, diversified setup of industries in India. Using the foreign exchange, government wanted to fulfill their objective, that was the self-reliance, and that's using the foreign exchange strategy, that is also known as the import substitution strategy. Under that, they adopted the tariff and quota tools to remove the competition from the foreign market and to protect the local manufacturers. And under that, we can say LQP, licensing, quota and permit, that was adopted. But after 40 years, due to the main reasons, and what were those reasons? Poor performance of the public sector undertakings, fall of the foreign exchange reserves, deficit in the balance of payment, high rate of the inflation, inefficient management of the government. These were the main reasons behind the adoption of new economic policy or the economic reforms. Economic reforms, as I discussed, this is the set of economic policies directed to accelerate the pace of growth and development of an economy. And under that, India has adopted new economic policy 1991. For that, India took loan from the IBRD, International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, popularly known as the World Bank, and IMF, International Monetary Fund, and they took $7 billion. And in against this loan, these international organizations, they also expected India to remove the trade barriers, to reduce the government role in the decision making, and to remove the other kind of obstacles from using the foreign exchange. Has agreed, India agreed for this, and after that India adopted the new economic policy in July 1991, that was executed also from July 1991. Under this LPG, liberalization, privatization and globalization, these are the three main policies, and these policies were based on the two kind of measures. The first measure was the stabilization measure and the second measure is structural measure. Stabilization measure is the short term measure. Under that, government has adopted to control the prices of the goods and services in the economy and to manage the balance of payment of India through increasing the foreign exchange reserves. Second one, the structural measure. This is the long term strategy. Under that, government they tried to remove all kind of rigidities, various kind of rigidities from the economy and to make the competitive environment for the setup of new industries. They removed all the kind of obstacles and the restrictions from the private sector. As well as government also tried and they tried to improve the efficiency of the economy, and they started that to utilize the resources of India in the well manner. By that they can fulfill the objective of the new economic policy. Liberalization simply means that the removal of the entry and growth of resources, and privatization, it is associated with the transfer of ownership and management from the public sector to private sector. And the last one is that globalization, it is the integration of the local Indian economy with the global economy. So India has adopted LPG in place of LQP in 1991. I hope that you understood the topic. Thank you. That's all for today. The next topics we will discuss in the next video. Till that, stay safe, stay home. Thank you.